It's your July Tuesday movie critic here, and I am going to be reviewing the movie The Judge. And this just recently came out. It's been out for a few weeks now, I think. It stars Robert Downey Jr. as Hank Palmer, Robert Duvall as the judge, or Judge Palmer, Vera Farmiga as Samantha, Vincent D'Onofrio, and I know I probably pronounced that wrong, as Glenn Palmer, and Billy Bob Thornton as Dwight Dickham. Now, this is a really excellent movie. It's a drama. It's a drama, and it's a sad yet sensitive drama. And it has even a little bit of mystery in there, but it's mainly a drama. And it gets kind of dark, but not in the sadistic type way dark, kind of like in the depression type way dark, where, you know, nobody seems to be happy in this movie at all. Everybody's having problems one way or the other. And it starts off, Hank, who's played by Robert Downey Jr., is a very prominent defense attorney, and, you know, he's known for, you know, defending criminals, like most defense attorneys. I won't say most defense attorneys, but especially as the media portrays them to be. So Hank gets a call from his brother that their mom died. So of course he rushes home, but as he's going home, he realizes that he also has to see his father, whom he has great disdain for. And of course, that is seen immediately when they first meet each other after Hank returns home. You know, they barely say a word to each other, and Hank is questioning everything that the judge says or anything that he does, because he feels like that the judge has a chip on his shoulder against Hank. He always seems to have, and that has not changed over the years. Even though Hank does have great disdain for his father, and he's not afraid to to show it, he still has great respect for his father. And as we find out in the movie as it goes on, he also has great love for his father. After the funeral, you know, Hank decides, okay, this is not working out. Every day I'm here, it's getting worse and worse. I need to go home. The movie itself gets really interesting, I should say, when the police come to the door and are about to arrest the judge because he's been accused of murder. And as the story unfolds, you get to see how not only what type of relationship, because the judge has a relationship with this person that was killed, and there's also a relationship with the attorney that the prosecutor in this case has a past with one of the Palmer family members. I won't say which one. And because of that past, he feels a need to make sure this time that Judge Palmer pays for his crimes. That's where the mystery kind of comes in. Did he do it or didn't he do it? But that also takes a back seat to the relationship between Hank and his father. And even though you later on find out that his father knows, even though he doesn't want to admit it to himself or admit it to Hank, he knows where that animosity comes from. Hank, on the other hand, does not. And he needs that closure. And he doesn't even realize how much he needs that closure. And that's one of the reasons that he stayed. Except, you know, and everybody's telling him, this is your dad. You have to help your dad. I don't care what kind of problems you guys have. You have to help your dad. So, and that too. The acting in this movie was great, just incredible. There was times where they could have easily gone for the easy sappiness, but they chose not to, and they handled the storyline very realistically. The movie itself, I recommend to anyone. It is, you know, there is a lot of cursing. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of cursing in this movie. There's only really one sex scene, so to speak. It's more of a makeout scene. It's very brief. And, you know, and for the most part, the movie's rated R because of the cursing. And there is a bit of darkness to the movie. But it, like I said, it doesn't get as dark as it could get. It kind of like stays on the edge of darkness. It is a very sad movie. There isn't a lot of humor to it. If you like dramas, you'll love this movie because it is drama. It's not a thick, sappy drama. It is one of those family dramas where, you know, you have the can't go home moment, and then the moment where, okay, this is why I came home. And then you have to you get to see whether or not the character regrets or appreciates the fact that they came home. Hank's little daughter, she plays a very major role in there, even though you only see her for a little bit of the movie, maybe a quarter of the movie, and it's kind of like spread out. She plays a very major part, and she's so cute. Very, very cute girl. So that's my review for the movie The Judge. Go see it. I think you'll like it. Now, the two old school movies that I compared to The Judge are also dramas. When I actually saw the previews for The Judge, I immediately went to Dolores Claiborne. Now, this is one of my more favorite movies, drama-wise anyway. This movie stars the one and only Kathy Bates as Dolores, Jennifer Jason Leigh as Selena, her daughter, Selena St. George. It also has Judy Parfitt as Vera Donovan, which is Dolores' boss, the woman she's been working for decades. And then there's Christopher Plummer, who is Detective John Mackey. Now, Plummer is the person, just as in the movie The Judge, where Billy Bob Thornton, who is the prosecutor, has, you know, it in for the judge, making sure he pays for his actions. The same thing goes for Christopher Plummer's character, the detective. He has it in for Dolores. And it's also due to past actions in the family that, you know, where he felt things didn't go the way they should have gone, so this time he's going to make sure they go the way they're supposed to. Now, of course, in Dolores Claiborne, there's no court case, as in The Judge, but that doesn't mean that Dolores isn't put on trial and pretty much convicted until Selena comes in. And there is also great disdain, like the judge and his son have for each other. There's also great disdain, and it's more on Selena's part, this disdain she has. Dolores loves her daughter, but she hates the fact that her daughter came back. She always wanted her daughter to get away and prosper. And when she comes back, Dolores sees that even though her daughter got away from Maine, she did not prosper. She could see it in her face that there's still the darkness, the sadness, the depression and things like that. The mental illness part has followed her to wherever she went. And of course that breaks Dolores' heart. And so the movie takes place in Maine, as I said before, and Dolores is working for Vera, the same woman she's worked for decades. And Dolores are both up in age, and it ends up that Vera is killed. And that's what the coroner finds out, that Vera is killed. And of course, the main person there wants to blame Dolores for these crimes and make sure that she is prosecuted and put in jail. And he has, you know, he's going to do everything he can to make sure that she does not get away from this crime. And I don't think he's even really interested if she is guilty or innocent at that point. And he just knows that she's guilty because she happens to be at the same place where Vera was killed. And technically, you know, it could have been an accident, but he's convinced that it was no accident, that Dolores did this. So then, of course, just as in The Judge, where as they delve further into the case, they find out more information and, you know, the familial unit is tested. Same thing happens in Dolores Claiborne, where as they delve more into the case, the initial case, they find out more information, and Selena and Dolores kind of like don't really, same as The Judge, and his son, they don't necessarily bond, but they get to a point where they realize that they need each other. Dolores needs Selena to help her with this case, and Selena needs Dolores to help her figure out some stuff from her past, so maybe she can move forward and live a better life. And it's just a beautiful movie, so well written. I love that it was in Maine because it kind of like adds to the darkness of the movie. This movie is dark, kind of like The Judge, where it's dark, but it's kind of like almost on the edge of darkness, where it doesn't get too dark, and it's not dark in a sadistic type of way, but it does have a major creep factor to it, and kind of like in The Judge. In Dolores Claiborne, there's, you know, if your feeling of creepiness comes for a way different reason than your feeling of creepiness in The Judge. One of the things that is true for The Judge and Dolores Claiborne is they both kept things from their kids that if they had told them and had been open about, then they probably would have had a completely different relationship with them. Then the next movie, The Chamber, came out in 1996. And just like Dolores Claiborne was based on the Stephen King novel, The Chamber was based on the John Grisham novel. And these are both very popular novelists. The movie The Chamber stars Chris O'Donnell as Adam Hall, Gene Hackman as Sam Cahill, his grandfather, Lita Rochon as Nora Stark, and she works in the governor's office, and Faye Dunaway, who plays Lee Bowen, the daughter of Sam Cahill and the aunt of Adam Hall. The death that happens in the family with Adam's family is his father is killed, or his father dies, I should say. And after his father dies, he finds out that he has this grandfather that he never knew about. Now, he only finds out about him when he's 10 years old, so there's nothing really he could do about it at that time. But when he becomes an adult and he learns more about his grandfather, it becomes, instead of it becoming more eye-opening, it just begins to be where he has more questions than answers. And the only way he's going to get the answers that he needs is to go see his grandfather, who is on death row for bombing and killing 2 innocent children. Now, the way this all takes place, the court case and everything takes place in Mississippi. When Adam, played by Chris O'Donnell, comes to Mississippi, he's pretending to be someone else, as he has done all of his life. His dad changed his name, and they never kept the name Cahill. So he has the name as Hall. And he doesn't think that anybody knows him, which no one does, knows that he's related to Sam Cahill. And as time goes on, pretty much early in the movie, they find out that he is, you know, Sam Cahill's grandson. Which I think he was trying to keep that under wraps, but it doesn't work out. And as it goes on, you know, there's this mystery, because even though Sam Cahill was convicted of the crime, because they said that he committed the crime, but he had went to trial twice, and there was a hung jury. The third time, the new governor, who was a district attorney at the time, won the case and got him, you know, convicted of the crime. And that's why he's in jail now. You see the dynamic between Adam and his grandfather, where Adam has great disdain for his grandfather, but he also needs answers from him. The same way that both Hank in The Judge and Selena in Dolores Claiborne need answers. They don't want to go back home. None of these guys want to go back home. Even though in The Chamber, this is not Adam's home. But Sam Cahill, in a metaphoric sort of way, is his home. He's where it all began for Adam's father. That's the only way he's going to learn anything about his father, Ed, and what happened to him. Because nobody else, not even his father, ever talked about it. And, you know, the first clue that he got was after his father died. And so when he goes to Mississippi, he's not really, even though he goes there on the premise that he's trying to help his grandfather, get a stay of execution. His real reason for being there is getting answers. He wants to know how a man like his grandfather could raise a man like his father, who was totally the opposite and taught him a totally different way. Because Sam Cahill's a card-carrying member of the Ku Klux Klan, and Adam knows that his dad was nothing like that, and he didn't raise him to be anything like that, or his sister. So it just turns on a whole dynamic. And the same thing where the grandfather doesn't want his grandson there either. Just like in the other two movies where the parental unit doesn't want these kids to, the judge did want his son to come back, but he definitely didn't want his son to defend him in this case. And in this case, Sam Cahill in the chamber didn't even know his grandson was coming. But once he realizes that it is his grandson, he wants him to get away from there as fast as possible. He doesn't want to have anything to do with him. And he tells him in no intents or purposes. He keeps stuff from him, but he still treats him like crapola. It's pretty bad. So the dynamic between them, where the court case, as things come out in the court, just like in the judge, as the trial progresses, you learn more about Sam Cahill. And the thing too is Sam Cahill learns a lot about himself, and he finally realizes what type of man he is. Before, he simply did what he was told. He did what was traditionally right. I think they said it was like back 4 generations of KKK members. Sam Cahill, yes, he grew up in that situation, but I believe that there's time when he became an adult, or any time where he became of his own mind, where he could decide, hey, I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do it, just like his dad decided. And it shows in the movie where his dad made that decision, that he wasn't, before he was kind of subversive with it, but to a certain, after, a certain occurrence happened, it was like, I definitely know where I'm going now and what I don't want to be a part of. And he got away from there and him as soon as he could. And in some ways his sister did too. So all of the movies are, like I said, very dramatic. The chamber, which is, what they call the gas chamber, is of course the way that Sam is going to be executed. And the chamber is also rated R. It's pretty much because, there is a lot of cursing. There's nothing else. I did like the whole dynamic between all of these characters and how they played each other. The chemistry there was so real. You could believe that these people were related to each other and that they had a connection, or a severed connection, but one that could possibly be repaired if they were all willing to do it. And I think that was beautifully done. I think they could have made some changes with the chamber. It wasn't the best movie. I saw some things that could have been done better, but that's neither here and there. As far as it comparing to the judge, I think it does so well. So those are my movies for today, and I hope you like them. If there are other movies that you think better compares to the judge, let me know. And in the meantime, I will see you next time.